There is a very sensitive topic I want to talk about. I've been thinking about it for a while. I hope I don't get in trouble talking about this, but anybody that listens to it will have a second thought. It's mind blowing, but I just have to say it. Okay, it's about the matrix and the gatekeepers. Out of years of study, I've written 5 books. I've done a lot of research, and I've come to realize that the world is a matrix, and there are gatekeepers in this matrix. The matrix is a slave system that centers on control. The sole purpose of the matrix is to hold people bound, to control people, what you eat, what you wear, how you live your life. Just like the lockdown. The lockdown was a test run of what the matrix is all about. So the matrix is centered on controlling the lives of people, controlling how their perspective about life, controlling their welfare. It's a slave-centered process that keeps people bound under the territory of control. Though it promises freedom, but it's an illusion. The matrix promises that you are free. You're free to say what you want to say. You're free to do what you want to do. You're free to become whatever you want to become. But that's an illusion. That freedom, that promise is an illusion. It's not actually freedom. Okay, what are the biggest money movers that keeps the system running? What are the biggest the biggest money movers that keeps this system running, the matrix running? The first one is war. W-A-R, war. Now, what does war do? Let's say that 2 countries are in the verge of going into warfare. This side of the party or this side, it doesn't want the war, while the other one wants the war. And war is an ocean of money. So war moves money. One of the ways billions and trillions of dollars are exchanged during war, because you have to buy ammunition, you have to take care of your soldiers and all the necessary amenities and infrastructures that runs the war. So what is war centered on? Not to die or to go kill your opponent. The second mover of money in the world, the second biggest money mover in the world, it's medicine. Think about how much that is spent on drugs, on medicine. During the COVID-19, there were billions and billions of dollars that were spent to produce the vaccines and all that. So medicine is also a very big mover of money in the matrix. The next monster in the matrix that moves money is religion. Now religion, it seems like it's not so it's not so obvious, but it's a money making machine in the matrix system. Don't worry, I will connect the dots when I'm done. The next one is insurance. Insurance companies, they are part of the biggest money movers in the world. The next one is school. Now, what does school does? School teaches people, brainwashes the brightest, and teaches people bullshit. You know, they don't teach you what is effective in life. They tell you this is quadratic equation, find x. Are you finding x when you're hungry, or you're finding x when you want to cross the road? You know, so the school system is one of the money movers, one of the biggest money movers in the matrix system. Okay, the next one is internet. Internet was really invented for the new generation, because the old system or the old processes, money movers, were not so effective for the new generation, so they had to invent internet as a means of, you know, pulling everybody along in this matrix. Now, let me tell you how, or let me connect the dots for all of you. Now, what does war do? War kills, right? War kills the strong man, the strongest among us. Now, when war kills the strongest among us, what does medicine does? Medicine heals the injured. Now, when medicine heals the injured and kills the weak, because medicine kills the weak and heals the injured from the war, then religion promises you a place you will stay if you're killed during the war. Religion promises you a paradise or a heaven, you know, or hell, you know. It promises you of a place. It gives you a promise to hold you so that you will not see the real deal behind the curtains. So insurance, what does insurance do? Insurance pays incentives to the injured so that they will not feel, you know, they are exonerated from the system. It gives incentives to the injured that went to war. Now, when they recover from the medicine given to them, they can also be sent back to war to be killed finally. Now, what does the school does? I've told you what insurance does. Insurance pays incentives to the injured so that they will be encouraged to go back to war if they are healed, or to encourage others to go join the war. Now, what does the school does? The school brainwashes the brightest. You know, right from kindergarten to adulthood, the school system brainwashes you that you do not know what reality is until you leave the four walls of school, you know. That's why it seems like most professors sound strange. They do not, like most economists, do not understand realities, because the academic system does not totally 100% reflects the real world. The reality is different from academic knowledge. So the school system brainwashes the brightest. Tell them going to war is good. Tell them taking medicine is good. Tell them having a religious status is good. You know, tell them that, you know, getting incentives it's awesome. You know, so the school system brainwashes the best among us. Now, what does internet does? Internet is one of the new generation system that pulls in millions and billions and trillions of dollars, you know, for for the new generation, they cannot adapt with the old system, but the new system, which is internet, can keep them bound. You may not know how this system keeps them bound, but let me give you an example, such as watching pornography. Pornography is addictive. It's very, very addictive. And when these kids are exposed to this pornography right from their tender years or age, it tends to affect their lives in the future. So I'm not saying there are internet is just for the bad stuff only. No, there are good side of it, but these are some of the ways that the matrix has introduced some systems that has not really come to the mind of people to think about these realities that affects our lives. Now, what does the internet also do? The internet also uses social media and all this news media to brainwash people, to keep people dumb. As you watch news media, all these multinational news media, most of them are liars. They are all liars. So what happens is they use the internet as a means to keep people dumb, to keep people who are dumb more dumb. So all these things I've listed, they have one thing in common. All these are batteries of the matrix, and they have one thing in common. I've listed war, I've listed medicine, I've listed religion, insurance, school, internet. All these things, all these systems are batteries of the matrix, and they have one thing in common. Guess what it is? Death. 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 That's what they have in common. Now, we are afraid to die, but we're not going to leave this place alive. That's just the reality. And because you're not going to leave this place alive, everybody wants to live again, live longer, live young, stay healthy. All these things I've listed have one thing in common: death. War kills, don't they? Medicine kills. They promise they will heal you. They promise you don't go to war so you won't be killed. Religion promises you when you die, you have a place to stay when you're dead. Insurance promises you that when you're dead, at least your family will get some incentive. Or when you're medically ill, you have an incentive. School, what does school do? School teaches you how to live so you will not die. They tell you, the school teaches you, it's like a system that teaches you if you do this or do that, you will die. The internet or the social media is used to tell people lies, how to live longer. Have you really wondered why is it that this multinational social media and news media, they lie a lot? There is an agenda from the matrix that they have to abide by. Now, I'm not making all these things up. I want you to think critically if what I'm talking about really makes sense or not. Now, I really thought freedom was the promise, and I found that no, really, freedom wasn't the promise. It was bondage. It was slavery. I do not deny the fact to live an effective life, there has to be boundaries. It's like if you're speeding, there are limits. You should not speed so that you will not crash. That's an ideal boundary that every driver needs to abide by. Now, but telling people how to live their life, that if they don't take this or they don't do this, they are not part of what the system offers them. That's something fishy. Okay, the shock is we have those core gatekeepers. Now, remember the matrix has all these systems on it, but there are those we call gatekeepers. Now, what are the functions of these gatekeepers, and who really are these gatekeepers? Now, these gatekeepers are people who are employed by the matrix, or those who run the matrix. Now, they are employed to be in charge of certain jurisdictions. They are in charge of certain territories. So watch, they are the eyes of the matrix. Now, who are really these gatekeepers? They come in different forms. Some of them could be celebrities. Some of them are influencers. Some of them are preachers. Mega church preachers. They are all gatekeepers. Some of them are politicians. Some of them are presidents. Some of them are Congress men, women. Some of them are senators, politicians, Some of them are prime ministers, influencers, musicians, people who have influence. Some of them are the gatekeepers. I didn't say all of them. I said some of them, majority of them are gatekeepers. They are the eyes and the nose and the ears and the hands and the feet of the matrix. Are you getting my point? Now, their sole function is to keep the battery of the matrix running. The sole function is to replace the battery to keep the system running. And every generation has a gatekeeper. Every territory has a gatekeeper. Every generation has a gatekeeper. Every country, every state, every nation, every continent, every county has a gatekeeper. In music world, we have gatekeepers. Entertainment world, fashion world, wherever you name it, we have a lot of gatekeepers. You may not really know they are gatekeepers, but they are. And that's why at times you wonder why some of your presidents and prime ministers and politicians are puppets. They are gatekeepers. Some of the people you respected, you love their music, they are influencers and celebrities. Most of them are gatekeepers. 97% of leaders all over the world are gatekeepers. Yes, I said it, and that's true. 97% of leaders all over the world are gatekeepers. A leader could be in the music industry, fashion industry, entertainment industry, politicians, wherever you name it. Most of these people are gatekeepers. Their sole function is to keep replacing the battery of the system, of the matrix, so it will keep running. It's just like your phone. When your phone is down, what do? You charge the phone, the mobile phone. So their sole function is to replace the battery of the system. Remember that I told you that war, medicine, religion, insurance, school, internet are the batteries of the matrix. So there are people who their sole responsibility is to make sure that all these systems within the matrix are running effectively. I hope it's beginning to make sense. Okay. Now the question is, how do you know you are still living in the matrix? Okay, you want to know that you're living in the matrix, then you need to look around you, you know. And how do you know these gatekeepers? That should be another question someone should ask. Well, by their fruit you shall know them. By what they say, by what they do, by their actions, you will know if this person is a gatekeeper or not. Now, if you do not really believe what I'm saying, then it means you are living you are a landlord in the matrix island. If you do not believe, because I've given you evidences and proof to show you who are gatekeepers and what the matrix is all about. If you do not believe me, then maybe you are renting in the matrix island. Maybe you have to renew your rent every year. Okay. Now, the most important question anybody who is sensible should ask is, who owns the matrix? Who owns the matrix? Well, you will never meet them in your lifetime. Never. You will never meet those who own the matrix in your lifetime. Never. But if you are a gatekeeper and you have a very high hierarchy, you have a very large influence, like presidents, prime ministers, popular musicians, you might be opportune to meet the owners, those who own the matrix. You can walk past them on the road, but you wouldn't know they are the one ruling your life. I'm telling you. So it's before you meet those who own the matrix, you have to get to a certain stage or level where they know you are in tune with their agenda before you can meet those who they are like the CEOs, the owners of a company. And before you meet the owner of a company, you're supposed to have your agenda and the agenda have to align. If it does not align, maybe in your lifetime you can meet them. You can meet the CEO, So in your lifetime, you're not likely to meet them until both have the same agenda. Both the agenda aligns. Okay, my last point is all our histories has been rewritten by the matrix. All our histories, our identities, how life is supposed to be like, has been rewritten by the matrix or by those who own the matrix. Now, one thing I want to make you understand is that people who own the matrix does not live in the matrix. People who own the matrix do not live in the matrix. They live outside the matrix. The matrix is a way of controlling people. So people who own the matrix, people who own the matrix do not live in the matrix. They live outside the matrix and put gatekeepers to prevent others from seeing their true identity. So if what I've said makes sense to you, now you need to sit down and ask yourself, am I living in the matrix or am I living outside the matrix? I was once living in the matrix, but right now I have seen what the matrix is all about. It's just like when Neo realized what matrix was all about, then he began to control the bullets with his hands. He could control the bullets, because he began to see the matrix in numbers, what the true nature of what matrix was all about. If any of you have watched that movie Matrix. Now, I was once living in the matrix, but just like Neo was liberated, so I was liberated, and I found out that the matrix do exist, and people who own the matrix does not live in the matrix, but they put systems for people to be controlled, and they place gatekeepers. Gatekeepers, not beekeeper, gatekeepers, to control and be their eyes, their nose, their legs, their feet, and all that in the mattress. That's why sometimes when you bring good ideas and good propositions to your politicians and your leaders, they don't they find it difficult to do it. Why? Because their life is controlled by a phone call. Someone calls them and gives them order. Maybe they've not met the person before. Someone calls them and tells them what to do. So I believe this video helps you to realize there are more to life than what eyes can see. Our sole function on earth is to help each other live a better life. And this is how I can help you to live a better life, by making you realize that there are more than eyes can see. Until next time.